Okay, welcome everyone to the Create the Life You Want alignment practices conversation. So I'll have the chat open the whole time that we're talking here live. And then for those who are watching the replay, you can post comments wherever it is that this is posted. So I think that will be a beautiful way for us to connect. And what else do I need to say? I think it'd be a good idea for you to have a pencil, pen, crayon, some paper, or something like that. Or if you like to type, if you're on a computer or something like that, or maybe you just keep the notes on your phone. Of course, it's okay if you don't, but I think that usually when you come out to workshops, that's the most ideal. And then I'll keep the chat open. So I'm happy to take any questions as they come up as we're talking about different things. So don't be afraid. It's not going to interrupt me too much here. And so it'll be a little bit workshop and a little bit conversation and talking because this topic that has come up a lot. I've noticed it a lot, especially I've been working at this retreat center in Scotland for the last couple years. And some people who I run into here are like, wow, like, how did you do this? Tell me how you got here, where you're like running your own business, doing healing work, and you work at this epic, retreat center. It's so relaxing and peaceful. And of course, not everything is as it seems. The retreat center is a place I'm leaving because I get to go now full time with my own work. But that wasn't because it was like, oh my gosh, this is the best decision ever. It was from a series of choices based on what I was getting from the external environment. And so creating the life you want is not necessarily as easy as just saying, here's what I want to do. So I'm going to do that and it's going to be smooth, but actually a matter of being receptive and open, maybe adaptable as well, adaptive, understanding that things do shift and change. So I'm really passionate about this because I believe that receptivity is the best way for us to heal collectively and also on an individual level, which I guess is how we heal collectively. And so tonight, what I'm going to talk about, or today, if you're in North America, tonight, it looks like it's midnight outside. It's only 8 p.m. It's really not even that bad. But tonight, what we're going to talk about is um, energetic alignment. We're going to talk about what it's like to be in alignment or out of alignment, because I think that's pretty key for alignment practices. How are you going to know which parts to shift? We're going to do some work together as well. It'll be a very, very, very mini version of the Align Your Energy process, which I'll also talk more about. And so you're going to get some tools, you're going to get some actions to take, and hopefully you're going to feel a little bit more empowered to create the life you want, to make decisions that get you in alignment to what it is you're looking to have in life. And this can change as well. This is something that is in flow, it's flexible, and sometimes our desires shift as we go through life. We go, oh my gosh, now this whole new vision has opened up. This has been happening to me a lot this year. I keep feeling like I'm downloading the next 10 years of my life. And I'm completing the last decade's goals, and now it's like a whole new set is sort of coming in. A new mission has been assigned, as it were. And yeah, so we'll talk about alignment and how it's, yes, it's maybe some goal setting, but truly every single day, if we're in energetic alignment, we're going to take inspired action, right? So we're more likely to live the life we want when we're acting from a place of alignment rather than setting a goal, but our energy is actually out of alignment the whole time we're reaching towards that goal. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, do ask questions and I don't know, tell me if resistances or challenges or things like that come up as we're talking as well. That way we can address them live in case it helps anyone else when they're watching the replay. I know a bunch of people are going to be watching in the replay, and I will likely also be sharing this publicly, perhaps to YouTube or similar at some point. So the key pillars, right, of energetic alignment would be, and this is what I've included in Align Your Energy anyway, is aligning your time, aligning your mind, and aligning your life. So, like your values and your choices, your decisions. I would also say aligning your heart and spirit and your intuition is really important. But they're already aligned. So maybe it's just getting yourself listening to your mind your heart and your spirit and what they seek. As well, we're going to do some things. So we're going to have a bit of journaling. We're going to have a bit of breath work. For those clients who have worked with me, we haven't even done breath work, I don't think. We might have done one or two. We've done a little bit of meditation, visualization stuff, but this is important to me for how we maintain alignment and how we check misalignment as well. And then we're going to talk about the importance of consistent energy practices so that you can avoid burnout. And then that way you're also going to be able to stay in the flow more often. Burnout is like pretty interruptive to flow. And then I'll talk more about align your energy and kind of in and around this and as we go. So one of the goals of alignment, right, is to not feel like you're swimming upstream, to feel like you are actually going with the flow, with the current, and that it's a little bit more easeful. And so a lot of the time when people are describing to me where they feel out of alignment, they are describing things that are like resistances, right? So clear alignment. Let's talk about this first. Alignment is when your mind and your body and your spirit are working together. They're on the same team. So you don't feel like one is fighting against, right? If you're in something where your mind and body are feeling aligned, but then your spirit is feeling as though it's yearning for something and it's not being addressed, that's not going to feel great for you. If your body is the force that's working against you, you have all of these interruptions and physical symptoms, but your mind and spirit feel like they're working together, there's still a misalignment there. It's when all parts are listening to each other. And so when you are aligned, generally, life feels a bit more effortless. It feels as though things just happen. When things are really clicking, I kind of feel like if you're in a movie and you're walking down the street and everything's just going your way, it's that kind of feeling where the right people just run into you and the right synchronicities, allow you to feel like you're on track. I would say that's also another big sign of alignment. As well, things don't feel as difficult. So when you are seeing everything as like a force of resistance, you're seeing everything as challenging, as hard, as, oh, that's really, really tough. Like when people do this a lot, I try to poke it out, have some fun with it sometimes, is when they say, oh, this healing thing I'm doing is really hard. Okay, but like, isn't healing a good thing? And isn't actually healing is we're meant to feel lighter and we're meant to feel more aligned and maybe even more joyful by the end of it. Relieved sometimes is all that we can hope to feel from healing, but that's not hard. The change out of the comfort zone might feel difficult at the start, but I like to try and reframe that to say it is feeling unfamiliar. It's not necessarily hard. It's just that that's what we're used to saying to people. Oh yeah, healing's really difficult. Oh, healing takes time, or oh, it's really hard to make a change. And actually, the more you say that, the more you're pushing yourself out of alignment. And it's difficult for everything to be on the same page if your mind is just saying, this is really difficult. So we are going to talk about aligning your mind as well. And that is a key component to align your energy that shows up later on, so that we can address any of the ways we might be getting, that feeling of feeling stuck. And so the opposite of alignment, right, is feeling stuck and feeling unclear when things feel really difficult. And I would say too, like when you feel that you're out of alignment, you feel like something is off. And when you feel in alignment, it feels like things are going well. And it's a very, very binary system to look at it that way. And it's not so clear as that. There's going to be alignments in certain areas of your life and maybe misalignments in other areas. And this is a constant journey of sort of checking in which areas have that feeling. But that is the sort of more binary way of looking at it. And so true alignment isn't really about what you're doing. It's like how you're doing it, but also how you're perceiving it, right? And so I could be doing all my goals and feeling like I never have enough time and I don't know, like it's like just so mundane and all the things I'm doing are boring and ineffective and they're so difficult for me, right? Or I could be doing all those exact same things and it's a totally neutral act to just do the things, right? It's totally removed from all emotional, attachment. And I could actually start adding in meaning and saying, wow, when I take this action, it actually really helps me feel like myself. I feel more connected to my goals and my mission in life when I do this and this and this. I have so much time because I'm filling it so much with all the things I love to do. I got out of the habit. This is a minor note. I don't know how many tangents I'm going to take today, but we'll see. So I took the word busy out of my day-to-day vocabulary, like as much as I could, a few years ago. And I noticed a massive difference in my life. So when I used to say, or people used to say, oh, you're so busy. You go, yeah, I'm really busy. It always felt like there was a disconnect. Like suddenly we weren't connecting, but I was busy and I have things to do and I'm too busy. And it almost made me feel like I was misaligned with what I really care about. I really care about connection. I really care about being present with life. And I care about thriving and feeling energized and loving what I'm doing. And so if I'm busy, does that mean I don't have time for those things that are really important to me? And so I started saying that I live a full life because what I do is I actually do make time for those things. And these, connection is important to me and feeling fulfilled and feeling joyful is important to me. I make room in my life for these things because of these practices. So I taught Align Your Life years and years and years ago, pre-Pandy, right? So like quite a few years now ago. And it was an in-person 1-day workshop and it was really involved. I really loved it. It has expanded so many times since then. I've created a workbook for it, which you're going to get in the Align Your Energy program. And so this workbook and these series of, I don't know, tasks, practices, maybe. It's a whole bunch of different things in there. Some of them are concepts and some of them are actual tasks and practices. And the whole thing is full of all these tools that I've used for years, even leading up to that point. And so there was something that people kept asking me about was like, how are you making time for all this stuff? And it was like by doing it this way. And so this is what I want to share because over time, I've seen how living a life aligned to my spirit and aligned to my values has really created this way where the way I live and the way I'm operating is leading to more fulfillment and more productivity and more energy and more peace internally than what maybe some of my peers are experiencing. So I really hope that some of these things help you. And please do just let me know if you feel like you're in alignment right now, or if you feel like you are definitely needing this, or maybe is there just some area of your life where you're not feeling aligned? That way I can get a bit of a focus as well once we're diving into these topics, but I'm sure you'll have more to say when we get into that. So more about the concept of alignment. Okay. So aligned action is also like inspired. It is from a place of feeling purpose and feeling like you're on your mission and that you feel clear as well. So it's not taking a whole bunch of actions. It's really feeling like this is the highest and best action, right? This is the most easeful path and the most powerful. It's both of those. It's most easeful and most powerful. That'd be a good way to describe alignment, perhaps. And so, and yeah, alignment is a daily, it's an intentional effort. Absolutely. It's like a conscious thing that we do. It's not something that happens. And flow state is almost, it can be spoken about as if it just happens to us. And sometimes that's true, right? Sometimes you're working on a task and you go to it kind of just because, and then that alignment hits you and you are in that flow and you're in that flow for a little bit. Now, being in a state of alignment is that flow state happening way more often, way more consistently. So nothing is constant in this life. Everything is always changing, but we're looking for more often being in that energy where we are feeling aligned, where it feels like things are more effortless, even though we are taking action. So let's see. Let's get into misalignment a little bit more, just so we can be clear on how we are. There might be some part of your life where you get a little bit of this feeling, or it might be, hey, you know what? That's me across the board, and that's fine too. So if you are currently in alignment, you are probably feeling stuck, even though that's kind of a ruse. You're not really stuck. Nothing is ever stuck. If you follow like scientific principles, it can't just be like stuck. There's got to be something else happening. But feeling stuck. And so feeling like, I always like saying it's like you're swimming through molasses, because it's that sticky, like, oh my gosh, I cannot get through this type of sensation. You don't seem to be moving forward. So you might also just feel stuck in monotony. You might feel like things are just dragging along. Time just keeps moving. Oh, it's going, how's it going? Oh, it's going. That kind of energy. And that the amount of effort and work you put in doesn't seem to be moving the needle. That's like a really clear indication that you are likely misaligned. You're taking action, but you don't feel movement. As well, emotional heaviness, when you feel burdened, when it feels like everything is weighing on you, or when you feel really chaotic as well. I would say that is an emotional heaviness, because you feel disconnected from yourself. So you might feel really frustrated, or very anxious, or you might have a lot of sadness. You might feel like there's a lot of sadness within your system. And you'll also probably feel very confused about what direction you're going. And you might also have a lot of physical health symptoms. I would say physical health symptoms are a definite indication that there's misalignment. That can be a really challenging one, because, of course, we are always actively wanting to heal. And so sometimes it can feel like we identify with, hey, these physical symptoms have been around for this amount of time. That doesn't mean I'm just misaligned. And in reality, there is something within your body that is feeling misaligned with energy, with spirit, or with your mind, that is allowing your natural healing capacity to take over. And so we have to be kind to ourselves, right? And be aware that actually this is a journey, and you're not just going to get into alignment and then all physical symptoms are going to be reduced. If they've gotten to the point of being a physical symptom, it means that there's been some sort of imbalance in some way, even if it's simply in a physical way, some sort of imbalance. And that healing could be layered and could take many different things to help clear that and to balance the systems a little bit more. And there's also a lot to be said, I think, about the like chronic pain, general fatigue, headaches as they relate to stress. I'm seeing that there's definitely people feeling sadness in the comments, and this is a big sign that something's not right. And we tend to just gloss over it, because we kind of have this society that says a certain level of sadness is just okay. You can just have this certain level of depression and you're probably fine. And that's just how it is. Or it's maybe just not spoken about as openly as actually something that can resolve. We just see it as like, yeah, that is how it is. That's not necessarily how it needs to be. And so I'd like to inspire and encourage the idea that with aligning your spirit, your mind, and your body, so we're all on the same team, you're taking actions towards getting into further alignment, the feelings of sadness will lessen. They will lessen. Take it from me. I definitely used to carry much, much, much more sadness and darkness and fear within my system, like so much of all, and shame and guilt, all these heavy weighted emotions. And I would say definite hopelessness, powerlessness. And so, yeah, issues with your stomach, processing, worry, definitely all of those types of things that I'm seeing here, that is all really telling you something's off. Like, I'm having trouble processing. It's like your body saying, I'm having trouble processing life. Something doesn't fit. Something's not quite right. So this is also like signs of stress and signs of burnout, exhaustion in general, exhaustion beyond, actually, when is exhaustion beyond having such like, I don't know. It really still feels like exhaustion is still in some way, it's some sort of imbalance or misalignment. And again, it's just a symptom and a signal and a sign that something is wanting your attention. So let's pay attention. Let's just do that. Let's just look at it. Look at it with kindness and eyes of compassion. And so another piece of misalignment that might be also difficult to swallow is when your relationships or connections, your friendships, maybe your work is also strained. or if it feels like there's no joy or purpose within your connections, it's telling you that something within you is not feeling aligned because you're not able to relax and enjoy the company of others or the work that you're engaging in. Yeah, definitely. And especially with sensitive folk who are sensitive folk, definitely kind of swirl around this heart's frontier sphere and this healing sphere. As I'm one of you and we are the same. And burnout is so easy for us because we feel and experience a lot. So it's very easy for us to just go all in on things and forget, our body and who we are, and our minds can go into this overdrive that becomes not helpful. So I'll say a little bit about my story, and then we'll get into actually a little bit of alignment together here. I'm hoping to take about an hour, but I might take a little more. Anyone who works with me often knows I'm not the best at keeping right on time if I feel like there's a bit more to say. So I just wanted to share a little bit about, I could describe to you all the ways that I felt out of alignment. But what I really want to make clear is that I knew deep down something was wrong with how life was going. And there was like no real swaying me on the idea that something was off and I needed to address it. And until I got to some of these deeper roots as to what was really like something is not right, something is misaligned, it really did like pick at me. And I think it probably stayed with me more intensely than the average person because I was meant to come and, bring this lesson forth to you all. But we all have that, just something in our system that is saying, this piece isn't quite working with the other pieces. And at one point in my life, it felt like every single piece was not working with all the rest of the pieces. Nowadays, it's more like, okay, we got a pretty good thing, but every now and then there's wonky bits. And then I go, okay, that's what that needs, and okay, let's go listen to this piece. But when it feels like it's all encompassing, it feels so overwhelming. And it feels as though you don't know what to, grab at first. And so it's these tools and these systems that I think really help with getting clear. I'll share more about my personal story if we have time at the end. But if not, you're going to get to know more of it as you take the Align Your Energy practices. Your pieces feel scattered. Yeah, that's okay. It does happen. Honestly, happens to the best of us. Happens to all of us probably at some point. I can't imagine anyone's free from that feeling. They just might not talk about it. So I like the fact that we can be at least honest in here. So let's do a little bit of aligning your time. Okay. So align your time. These are my favorites. So in the Align Your Energy process, right, there's 6 weeks. You get to meet with me once a week in this live Q&A forum where we're actually just going to be back and forth the whole time, probably an hour or two, probably closer to 2, knowing me. And then you get 2 workshops a week. And so there's 3 Align Your Time workshops. And I have to say, these are my favorite. I know they're all mine, and so I should like all of them equally as if they're children, but the Align Your Time are my favorite. They are practical and doable, and we sit and we get stuff done, and it's relaxed. Like I noticed my energy as I was watching these, and it's pretty chill, which is, I think, really helpful when you're feeling overwhelmed by time. So aligning your time is really, really key. If you don't do this, it's very difficult for the rest of your decisions to make sense because you won't have time to do them, right? That makes sense. Okay. So time is really, really like, it's important to all of us. And we also gripe about it a lot. Collectively, I hear so many people complain about time. And I'm going to really encourage you to start shifting the way you think about time as it's actually on your side. You have all the time that you need, and that you know exactly what you want to do with your time. These are the types of things we need to live a life that's in alignment. You got to feel like the power is in your hands because it is. So let's not forget that. So let's make sure also that our schedules are going to reflect this life that we want. So let's just take today, right? So when we do the time audit in Align Your Energy, we're going to take a whole week of our lives and we're going to really assess it and we're going to deep dive on it. Right now, I just want you to take today. So write down just the general bits of what happened today. So okay, you woke up, it was about this much time, and just be honest with yourself. This isn't your ideal. This is just a reflection of an average day. Today was a really average day for me. I had tons of things going on and they all got accomplished. But if I go and look at it, there's definitely some things that I would want a little bit different if it was my ideal time. So we're going to get to that. Just look at what was it that you did in your day. So just take a couple minutes and jot that down right now. And so you might, as you're writing this down, you might start to notice, okay, yeah, like I didn't stop for lunch, and that's because I didn't really make any time for it. Or I didn't prep bringing my lunch because I didn't really look ahead to my day. So that would let you know, say you have tomorrow a similar day set up. You go, okay, looks like I've got to wake up early and prep my breakfast and my lunch tomorrow so that I'm going to have enough time to feel nourished throughout the day. Right. You might also see that there was a bunch of wasted time. You go, where did that hour go? Was I just on Instagram that whole hour? So you go and look and say, is that actually how I wanted to spend my time? If it is, that's fine. And if it's not, then what would you prefer to do instead? By actually being conscious and cognizant of these choices that you make every single day, you're going to be able to bring your time into alignment. You're going to have a sense that actually you choose what you do. Easy for me to say, I've been an entrepreneur for years now. And so my time is really like important for me to look at. Anyone who owns their own business, I think you're going to understand very quickly how if you are not using time effectively, it ends up having a detrimental effect on your productivity, on what you're doing, your energy levels, and your feeling of satisfaction. But this is true for everyone, right? This is true of even how you spend your day at work. You want to feel proud of how you spend your day at work. And if you don't work and you need to fill your time with other things, then making sure that those things are feeling nourishing, they feel supportive to your overall well-being, and that they allow you a sense of fulfillment, because everyone deserves that. Okay, so when you look at this day, is there a time in the day that you notice you're a bit higher energy or lower energy? If there's like a typical time of the day that's like, whoa, that's like not my ideal time or not my ideal time for this type of activity, is there any flexibility on where you could change that? So if I go back to the, packing a lunch example, if mornings are really not your thing and that's what keeps going wrong, couldn't you do it the night before? Right? If you're feeling creative the night before, if you feel like, hey, I'm gonna watch a show at night and before I do that, before I start watching any TV at night, then the goal is that I have to pack my lunch for the next day. And then I can, go and do that. You can have some sort of system like that as well. And this is something I definitely have done in the past. I'll want to use all times in the day, but some of them just aren't my ideal times for certain things. So mornings are not an easy time for me um, to jump into like physical fitness. That's just not my ideal physical activity time of the day. And I keep thinking, oh, it'd be awesome if I just woke up and had a workout before getting on with my day. But in reality, that's never really been how I like to be. Even when I was in high school, I would do different, teams. I was like on a cheerleading team, or I'd be doing running and stuff. And I'd always want to do the running in the evening or late at night. And it was difficult for me to go to cheerleading 3 mornings a week. It just felt like, oh, this is not ideal. When I was in college, I did rock climbing 3 days a week. And we'd go in the afternoons and I felt so empowered and so energized. I remember one time we went in the morning and I went, why am I so weak? But really, it's just not the ideal time of day for my body for whatever reason, to be able to engage with that type of physical activity. And so I can do other things, right? I definitely feel more peaceful at that time. So that would be a great time to engage with more peaceful activities. Sometimes I treat my mornings more like evenings because I'm just taking it easy. And actually, I really ramp up. It's only 8:30 p.m. here, but I'm in like, hey, let's be working, let's be activated. I love being focused and clear and creative at night. So you might be able to look at your day and say, this is the general flow that I have. but where could these shift a bit based on how my energy works? And these things shift, right? So let me know if you learned anything about looking at just a day of your life and what you could maybe do differently. So put it in the comments, put it in the chat if you have shifts or any epiphany or realization, even just from this quick activity. And of course, when we sit and do this weekly time audit in Align Your Energy, if you're able to join us at the next Align Your Energy, that would be amazing because you're going to get to do this and take more time, and you're going to be able to also see how your ideal time audit, we're going to do like your ideal week and then see, can we match this even closer? By actually having the details and actually having the information, you can make a change. You can't really make a change without the information. Yeah, so more active, yeah, in the evening, yeah, have more energy in the evening times. The hours that you work or that you have to use more energy aren't aligned with the hours that you actually have that energy. Good epiphany, really good epiphany. Now we can start to make that shift, especially if you own your time and your work, right? You owe it to yourself to figure out what is the optimal way that this actually works together. Yeah, and so that's exactly it. Sometimes these things shift. We aren't all the same. So it is about listening to ourselves and how we are working and trying to be honest with ourselves. Also, there are some times where we need to push and shift these things, right? So there's some times where, oh, I have a really like all over the place sleep schedule. Okay, but maybe we need to work on that so that you can feel more balanced rather than just accepting that working at all, hours of the day. So it's a bit of an individual journey, isn't it? It all is. And we don't want to go approach something like this and just stick into hustle mode. That's not the ideal, right? We're not trying to get into hustle mode. We're actually trying to shift as much as we can, probably away from it, not be so stuck in thinking that we have to do something a certain way, but more what do we ideally want to do? My ideal time audit includes a lot more time for creative expression, which means a lot more gap time because I have to feel rested in order to be in that kind of space. And so it's not like I'm going to get more done, but I am going to feel more fulfilled. And there is a big difference between achieving tasks for the sake of them and actually being an aligned energy and inspired action. I also have this belief, again, this is more for people who do work for themselves in that sense. Not all of this is, but just I do tend to lean that way. That's how I work. I believe in being able to feel fulfilled by that work. That I think if we only focus on tasks and things that need to be done, we also escape that inspiration place. And that inspiration place often is the more efficient path for actually becoming more profitable because it is more aligned energetically. And for some reason, that's just how it works. People get that, people sense that, and they feel that. So I try not to fill in my days with too many extra tasks, but actually do the things that really feel like aligned with what is most important. And so aligning your mind is also really important. We did talk about that a little bit. In the Align Your Mind section of Align Your Energy, this 6-week journey that we're going to go on, we have askformations. And so I'm going to ask us to find a few of them right now for ourselves, right? So we do need clear mind and positive focus in order to be able to make these changes. It's going to be really difficult if you're beating yourself up on the process. So let's start with this because we need to create a place of least resistance within our mind about the life that we're looking to create and the decisions we're looking to take action upon. So askformations is different than affirmations because I do a lot of belief work with the hypnotherapy work I do. And so I believe that if you have a system in your mind that absolutely believes you are not capable, and then you say, I'm capable, it's going to take a long time to draw the connection between one to the other. And when we use the words like, isn't it so cool how ridiculously capable I am? It assumes as if you already have the belief. And so it's a faster time to get to landing that belief in your subconscious. It's like this simple trick about words that if we phrase them as a question, we're more likely to actually adopt it as if it's already a belief. So we're not spending the time trying to make a belief. So let me know if anyone has used askformations before versus affirmations. And if you find benefit from affirmations, of course, keep using them. I'm not going to argue that. But it's something that I used to feel like I'm like, playing pretend. Okay, tell myself this thing. Maybe one day I'll believe the thing. And if you ask it as if you already do believe it, then you're it's yeah, I don't know. It's not a trick, but it's like a hack for your subconscious mind. I truly do believe. And so let's take a moment right now. Write down a negative thought or a limiting belief that you have noticed sometime this week, right? So I'm not capable of achieving my goals. I'm not worthy of love. I am lazy. I don't know. I don't like to take action, right? Um, I am scatterbrained and I am irresponsible, right? Whatever the thing is, take a negative thought or limiting belief that you have right now. That's so funny. And the comment says, stop reading my mind. I'm not trying to. This is a human thing. We all go through this. That really got me though. Uh, so take one of these negative thoughts or beliefs right now. You might choose two. You might choose all the ones I said if that was your comment. And then turn them into an ask formation. And put the ask formation in the comments below, right? Because that's going to help someone else if they see more ask formations. And it's good for you as well to ask firm it. Ask firm. Making up words now. And so this reframing of the mind is really going to help you be able to look for positive solutions as to how that's a fact, right? How is it that I'm so confident in everything that I do? And then my mind's going to be looking for, yeah, she is so confident. How is she so confident? And then it's going to be trying to figure that out, which is really cool. So write down in the comments below. I'm going to read some that are on the live now. How lucky am I that I can fill my schedule with activities that I love? This is great. This is like an antidote to the feeling like you have no time or that you're busy. You're too busy, right? How lucky am I that I can fill my schedule with activities that I love? What a good life you're living. How is it that you're living such a good life? How is it, how is it that you're living such an amazing life that is so aligned with everything you desire? Let's see some more. Why am I so capable of achieving my goals so easily and effortlessly? How is it that I'm just so lovable? How is it that I'm so good at knowing what I need, right? Knowing what your desires are. How amazing is it that I have so much willpower? I am able to accomplish any goal I set my mind to. Really like you guys are wrapping around what this is to ask firm. And this is something you can keep asking yourself over and over. I do think it takes a lot less time than affirmations do. So this is a time hack as we're talking about aligning your time, then aligning your mind. In the Align Your Energy program, by the way, in Align Your Mind, I have ask formation tapes that are about like abundance and unconditional love. And I'm happy to make new ones as well. So if there's a common theme that comes up for us when we're doing this Align Your Energy challenge all together in this workshop series, then perhaps I'll make a new ask formation. That was great. The light just changed. So I will make some new ask formation recordings, and they are really helpful, I think, to listen to. And then you just, you can be doing anything and just reaffirming the beliefs as if they're already there. So let's see if there's a few more ask formations that can be brought in. What about physical ones, right? How is it that my digestion works so easily, allowing me to feel like I'm taking all the food and all of its nutrients exactly where they need to go? How is it that I find peace in the everyday moments amidst adversity? How wise am I for being able to sense when something doesn't fit and take action on it as soon as that comes to my awareness? That's a good one for us. How awesome is it that I am such a huge success in recovery? I love that. That's amazing for you. How is it that I heal every single day so powerfully beyond my imagination? This is a great body affirming one. How great is it that my thighs hold so much power and help me to lift heavy things? Love that. Okay, so you're all getting the hang of it. I'm gonna look in the comments as well when we post this, and I'll just support you, like you. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's a thumbs up or a heart. I'll probably heart if that's the case. And so this is really good for any type of limiting belief. As soon as you become aware of a limiting belief, try to flip into an ask formation. This is going to help you get into alignment of feeling positive, because positive mindsets are allowing you to feel more like a success, more like a winner, more able to take action that aligns with that. That's how we want to feel. So I'm also going to give in some like relaxing recordings, because I do think we need to be in a relaxed, receptive state. I will talk to you about creating recordings for manifestation when we get to align your mind within the Align Your Energy program. So it is a really important piece talking about positive mindset, but we'll talk about that throughout as well. And then we also have Align Your Life. So Align Your Life is a 7-part series, right? So Align Your Time was 3-part, really epic, like 2-hour workshops. We have Align Your Mind, which is a series of recordings, and we're going to talk about what that is and how to utilize them. And then there's Align Your Life, which is 7 parts. And those who have done some work with me might know the healing process. This Align Your Life process follows the healing process. So the 7 stages of healing as I've seen them and as I tend to work with them. And it also includes all the Align Your Life workbook tools. So you get the workbook, you get all of these workshops, and we're going to break them apart. And over the 6 weeks, we're going to have watch all of these Align Your Life workshops. So this is about ensuring that your actions and your environment and your relationships and your decisions are reflecting your true values and your spirit and your desires. Because when we are not doing that, we are draining our energy, right? When things are not working for us, it means that there's something that needs to shift. It doesn't mean we need to keep accepting this thing being out of balance. So when you're aligned, everything is going to feel congruent. Like this all makes sense, and the goals and the purpose and the focus is there. And so let's reflect on one area of your life, right? So if we had a pie chart, which we will do in Align Your Life, for those who are used to it, get excited. We're bringing that back. So if you had a pie chart and you had all these different aspects of your life, just take one area of your life. So career or relationships or finances or physical health or, what else? Creative expression, art. I have so many different ones. And just pick one that feels most out of alignment right now. You can put it in the comments below if you're wanting to keep engaged here and keep, if you comment, it helps support, the conversation flow, but also once this is in the replay, it helps other people see this as well. So we have career, right? So just one area that feels like wonky or out of alignment. Relationship, yeah. Physical health, yeah. So we've got the gamut in here. We've got lots showing up. Great. And so now we say, what is no longer serving me? What is no longer serving me about that area? So allow your heart, your mind, what is no longer serving me? You don't have to take action on it right away. You just need to reflect and be with this for just a moment. What is no longer serving me? Or what is not in my highest and best interest? Beautiful. So hold this in your heart, continue reflecting on it, but try not to criticize or overanalyze or panic, right? This is just information. With information, we can make changes, we can make decisions, and we can empower ourselves to get into further alignment. So, when we clear things out of our life that are out of alignment, we are making space, right? You don't have to add stuff in right away, but getting it out of your life is going to make space for what is energizing and what is uplifting. And it is making room for magic. And that magic is where transformation happens. And that's really what we're looking for all of this alignment work to do, is create more magic, I would say. So let's get some energy practices, right? So an energy practice for more quick realignment. So some of you who are used to working with me will be used to also seeing a pendulum. So if you do not have a pendulum, this is the one I'm using today. I don't often show this one, but it's one of my faves because it's this brass pendulum. And so it has this weight to it that I find really substantial. So it's really when we're getting the real work done. So grab a pendulum if you can. If not, you can always do this later. You can do this any time you like, in fact. And you can also just use anything on the end. So actually, I could have taken this necklace off and used that because it just has this, stone point at the end, this rose quartz. So grab a pendulum if you can. This is going to be a tool for how we get a yes or a no. And I've included Pendulum Power, which is a whole pendulum course, which also includes a whole bunch of pendulum charts within the whole Align Your Energy system. Okay, so this is like my dream system, is all these different healing tools that I've been teaching, but we put them all together, and in 6 weeks we get a whole bunch done. And so I would also love to show you that you can use this for yes or no, or in alignment or out of alignment. Right. So I've done this before for different foods that I might be sensitive to, because there's a couple foods that, well, maybe a couple, quite a few foods that are not quite working with my system, has me sort of feeling foggy in the brain. My intuition and my mind are really important to me. So I get really finicky about that. So I'll say, hey, do tomatoes work in my system? That's a heavy no. That's a no. But is cheese okay in my system? And thankfully, that's a yes. It's a maybe, because there is one kind of cheese that I actually try not to eat, but the rest of the cheeses that I do know about are yes. And yeah, yeah, I would cry if I got a no for that too, to be honest. But when I test for these things, I am really open, because I would rather be in wellness, and I'd rather be paying attention to what I need now. And I trust that this can change, right? I trust that this can shift. I trust that if I really willed and wanted tomatoes to come back into my life, which I don't, but if I did, then I could, right? I believe that there's a way to do that, because I believe in ultimate healing in some fashion, right? And so what you can also do is take all these different areas of your life, right? If you wanted to test your career, your physical health, your relationship, if you want to do that, you can take the pendulum and also say, is this area needing my attention now? Is this area in alignment? Yes, no, right? You can do this type of binary work for your energetic alignment. I'm going to walk you through way more with that. So I just want to give you like a quick tool. Hey, this is one way that you can test alignment with certain things, or with your different areas of life, in order to check really quickly what needs the most attention. Because sometimes we might think, oh, this part's really glaring, but it's actually this other thing, right? So you could think that relationships are really focused, but actually it's career, because how you're feeling in your career is affecting a relationship, or like, it could be something like that. And so pendulum can be a really good tool for what is like the priority to focus on. And this is also going to help you build your inner guidance and your inner trust system. You're going to have that sense of, okay, I trust myself in what I'm doing. And so we will use pendulum within the Align Your Energy program. No problem. I'm glad you're going to catch the replay. No problem. And so let's do the breath work. Okay. So breath work. There's 2 things I want to show you with breath work. One is for bringing the body into balance just immediately, quickly. And the other is chakra alignment, or an understanding of the chakras. So we'll talk more about that when we get into all this deeper work. And I'm really glad that a bunch of you who are on the call here are going to be joining us. And for those who are not, please do reach out. I would love to send you the link. You can check it out. Align Your Energy is on heartsfrontier.com. So if you're watching this in the replay, you're watching live, just go check the links below as well. You'll be able to see Align Your Energy. And so Align Your Energy is like 12 parts, and there's going to be tasks as well. So there is a challenge with this Align Your Energy program whenever I run it, that at the end of the 6-week time, if you've done all the tasks by just sending them to me at the end of the course, then I will put you in a draw to win a season of transformation with me, which is an intuitive healing deep dive oracle session, a shamanic healing session, and a hypnotherapy session. So I'm trained in rapid transformational hypnotherapy. So I do this deep belief work with you. And it's a great series of like 3 intensive sessions over 3 months. And you're going to really notice that whole season that you are transforming, at least in one area of your life. So back to the breathing. You might be familiar with box breathing. This is a practice to understand how we're feeling with more energy or less energy, and just our relation to that. So we're going to focus on the inhale, say for a count of 4, and then pause and just notice. And then you're going to exhale for a count of 4, pause, and then notice. So I'll guide us through 3 cycles of that, and then you can do 2 or 3 on your own. And then we'll wrap that up, and I'll tell you about the chakra breathwork exercise, okay? So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, notice, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, notice, inhale 2, 3, 4, pause, notice, and exhale 2, 3, 4, notice. Inhale 3, 4, pause, exhale 4, pause, and then take 2 cycles just on your own. You can deepen the inhale, pause, or the exhale, pause, and just notice how you're feeling. Just take a breath to inhale, exhale, reset. Hopefully you notice something. You might notice at the top of the inhale that holding all that energy gives you this buzzy feeling, or makes you feel a little overwhelmed, or makes you feel kind of tight in the chest. You might feel just really good. And then the exhale, you might notice at the end of the exhale that you start feeling a little panicky, feeling like you need more air. And the longer you do those pauses, the more you'll notice these types of sensations of discomfort, and you'll be able to notice, is it the holding energy here or holding energy up here that is feeling uncomfortable? And we really do need to be able to oscillate between both. We need to be in rest mode and also expansion in order to create this well and aligned system. So let me know if you did notice anything about your breath when we were doing that. I do think it's a really interesting exercise and can bring you into really good personal alignment when you build a sense of peace or comfort and relief in both of those. And often it's interesting, the pause at the bottom can be also our relationship with death or with low energy. And we don't want to be in that place. We feel right heavy or tough, and so that it's interesting. I have the opposite reaction to these comments that are coming in years ago. Anyway, now it's a little different, I think. But years ago it used to be the inhale was really stressful for me, so my expansion was very scary to me, and I felt like I couldn't hold the energy, and I didn't want to hold all the stuff, and it felt really nervous. And the exhale, I was like, I will be here for 3 days. I will hang out. But what's interesting is my relationship to being quiet and in rest and lower, and my relationship with death was actually pretty good and still is pretty good. And if the exhale feels really dense and really heavy, it could be that slowing down feels scary to you, or that stopping, the idea of something stopping, feels very heavy or tense. So lots of different things that could be going on there. Could be something different as well. So let me talk you through this chakra breath catching exercise. So we have a general understanding of the chakras. If you don't, that's okay. We're just going to do a little bit of clearing then, right? And so as you join Align Your Energy, we can talk more about the chakras and give you more information. So this is going to line up. But those who are already comfortable are going to really get this. So imagine as though breath is coming from your root, from your tailbone, from underneath you. Imagine the breath is coming up your body, and it would leave out the head if that was the way breath worked. Okay, so we're not going to the mechanics of breath. We're going to the energy of the breath. So we're going to take an inhale, and then you're going to put a hand on your body where it feels like the breath catches or stops. If it feels like it stops here on its way up, that's fine. If it feels like it stops right at the bottom, that's fine. So just clear everything from what's going on in your head. Drop your energy and focus down to the bottom of your body, underneath you, underneath your seat. Take an inhale, and then put a hand where you feel like the energy stopped. So wherever it is, let me know what you all got. Right in the comment. Tell me where it is it stopped. Throat, right? This is a very common one. Throat, yeah. So we can trust the outer world, but we don't trust ourselves. That's the throat chakra is more about how we're talking to ourselves. Maybe we're being a bit critical of ourselves. And so it's difficult to just let ourselves fully open up, because we are just standing right in the way of that. What else? Where else are we noticing these catches? Solar plexus. Yep. This is often about our fear, how we're working in the world. So this might relate to the area that we were just focused on being out of alignment, right? So you might say, okay, that has to do with your identity. So if it was career that you were focused on, then identity within career would be the place where that breath is catching, because that's the energy we're working with, is this alignment within that realm. So it's good information, right? And then we could say, let's do something to work with the energy of either of those areas, if that's what's coming up for you, right? So if you have throat chakra and you feel like, yeah, you know what, I am wanting to be really kind to myself. And here's the truth. Here's the truth. That's what the throat chakra is about. You want to trust the visions that you receive and the intuition that you have. And it feels as though you're connected to your truth. Your solar plexus could be, I believe in myself. I can do this. I do challenging things all the time, and I rise above those challenges. I'm courageous, even in the face of fear. Perhaps also, I am whatever it is you want to be in your career, in your identity, right? Whatever it is you want in your identity, that's in your solar plexus. And now if we've done a little bit of this shifting, right? So depending on where it is, I know there's a bunch of people who are driving and not able to actually like comment and chat on this. And some people are on their phones as well. It's a little difficult to write down, but wherever it is, try doing something that is going to address that, right? So if you felt like your breath didn't go anywhere, it's the root. Maybe just feel your feet a little bit and say, okay, I'm safe. I'm here. I'm here in the moment and I can do this. I can trust where I am right now. You know, if it's your third eye that it got caught at, then it's like, I'm opening my mind to visions. It feels as though there's a willingness to receive the real vision rather than what I'm thinking I want. And so now we're going to take another breath and see if it's shifted at all. May not have immediately. We're just in the moment, but let's see if it's shifted. So take another deep breath coming from the bottom and then see where it stops. Place a hand wherever that is and let me know, was there a shift? It doesn't matter if there was a shift lower or higher. It's okay. I'm just curious, was there a shift and where did it end up? Yep. Great. So there's shifting up one or down one, and likely it's dependent on the pathway to which you're needing to focus on. And so if it's moving from solar plexus to sacral, you're manifesting. If you're moving from throat to third eye, you're actualizing, bringing it up. So we can talk more about that. Also, that's part of empath energetics as well that we can get into at some point. But we'll cover all that in Align Your Energy. This is really cool, this chakra breath catching exercise to just figure out what's something that's sticking that is needing some support. And when we clear through one, sometimes then it opens us up to deal with something else. Okay, beautiful. So the cost of staying out of alignment, right? In reality, if you are out of alignment, you are going to spend more time in burnout or in confusion, in that feeling of feeling lost and feeling fatigued. You are likely going to also deal with more stress and imbalances over time. So you're going to have signs of that misalignment continuing to show up in your life. That's going to be the pattern that continues to be created. And so the longer you stay out of alignment, the more difficult it is to actually regain that sense of empowerment and sense of control. With these practices, it's not necessarily about making your life easy. It's about preventing those pains and frustrations and exhaustions that came with not living like your true self. So you're going to have new things, but at least they're going to be the things that actually feel like part of your journey. We're all going to go through different things. Our stories are all different, and we need to go through things in order for our souls to have healing happen throughout our lifetime. We're not going for pressing the pause and just saying, okay, that's it. We're here to learn. But we want to be learning on the track that feels like truly meant for us. When I'm facing challenges that are part of my soul path, I get energized actually, even though it looks like, wow, that's really putting pressure on. It feels like the type of pressure I'm really excited to overcome. When I have pressures in an area of my life that doesn't feel like it's in alignment, it is a weight and it is a drain and it feels as though something is wrong. So this is getting you feeling like things are effortless because you're ready to rise up to and face the challenges that are coming along the aligned path and your highest and best path. So you're also going to experience in alignment more clarity because you're going to be able to say, okay, that's on. This is veering off course, right? You're going to have more peace because you feel fulfilled. And when you feel fulfilled, you're not reaching for everything. You're not looking for all these different distractions. I think being in distraction is a huge, huge sign that something's out of alignment within you because it's an avoidance tactic. Any avoidance tactic, really, any of these distractions that we keep, any addictive habits that we keep. And so life is going to feel when you're in alignment like it's flowing and that you are making choices that are serving your greatest good and you're trusting in that and you trust in yourself and you trust in spirit at the same time. So I've talked to you a bit about the Align Your Energy program, the process. It is 6 weeks, 12 different workshops. You get live question and answer time with me every week so we can actually deep dive. I can get you set up for the week ahead. We can talk about anything that came up as well. You can also just reach out and message at any point because I'm going to be all on focused on this program. And then there is the challenge. So if you do all the 6 tasks, you get into a draw to receive a season of transformation with me. My favorite thing to do is deep dive one-to-one with people. And we do the intuitive oracle session, that shamanic healing session, which is something I didn't even touch on here, but does come up, and the hypnotherapy rapid transformation session. So those are my thoughts for tonight. I'm going to open up the floor in a moment for us to chat. If there's any questions, any curiosities, just epiphanies. Sometimes people just like to share that kind of thing. And I hope to see you all there. I'm really excited. Thank you for taking the time for yourselves, watching all this way through and feeling more aligned, feeling hopefully ready to engage with getting yourself more in full alignment so that your life is going to feel this effortless, easeful, flowy way forward.